Hey now, good morning, happy Monday, and happy Valentine's Day. Yes, today is a very special movie planned, an assignment that we're going to look at that's romantic, and I had no idea. I didn't plan it that way, it just happened to coincide with our schedule. So we will be having a little bit of romance today. It's always fun to take iconic scenes that we've all seen, and put your guys' original scores to them, or music supervision, which is what we do. So I hope you have fun with that too. So yeah, why don't we get kind of romantic and elegant with the Disney film Lady and the Tramp.
This is the night, it's a beautiful night, and we call it Belle. Look at the skies, they have stars in their eyes, on this lovely
Lady and the Tramp is by who? Walt Disney, right? We looked at Walt Disney. We did Fantasia about a year ago when I asked you to come up with a classical score for that. That was terrific, not on Bald Mountain. But I was just looking through different movies and different scenes like I was talking about, and thought it would be good to have your take on this. So, I mean, Disney was a genius, right? I mean, talk about somebody that's a visionary, that's an original, creative thinker. 1901, he's born. 1966, dies. Not that long of a life, but I mean, to think about what he accomplished is amazing. He was an entrepreneur, right? He was a creative. He was a writer and actor. He did Mickey Mouse, in the beginning. They wanted to get rid of Mickey Mouse in the 30s. I think his brother Roy said that this mouse has to go, but they didn't, and that was probably a good idea because it's it's really iconic. And Fantasia and Pinocchio were, by the time Snow White comes out in 1937, which was a lot of work leading up to that, he's solidified and recognized as that cartoon and animation can be a legitimate, form of entertainment, and that people will pay money, a lot of money, even today, to just go to Disneyland is a fortune. People will do these things because the entertainment, and it's just, it's spectacular. It is world class, even if you don't like cartoons. I like cartoons. I don't know why John thinks I don't. I mean, they're for kids, but I'm a kid too. That's why I'm, silly and always making jokes. So, but we're looking at 1955, Lady and the Tramp. That's when this comes out. It takes several years. I think they start thinking about this 20 years before, and getting the rights and getting the animals in the studio, because that's how they made it. They looked at the real animals were brought in, and they used them as references. And the animators also used their own face for some of the characters. So it would be interesting to go in there behind the scenes and to see what's going on. So, I mean, this is the 15th film that Disney's made. So, I mean, and they'll go on to make many more. And I mean, well, we know the story. It's not Shakespeare, right? It's Lady, who's the Cocker Spaniel, and she slips away into the city and meets the tramp, and they go off on a romantic rendezvous. And we'll take a look at that scene coming up. But if he's coming out with this in the 50s, what else is coming out in the 50s? Well, in this same year, McDonald's is created. So think of McDonald's and Disney. I mean, they're still taking over the kids' minds and the world today. We're starting to get, with James Dean and other people, we're starting to get the teenager, right? I mean, we talked about Chuck Berry a few weeks ago and how he made a ton of money writing about the teenager. Prior, it was World War II, we had a lot of people fighting. Then after World War II, it was the 50s was the white picket fence and the development of the teenager, because there's always been teenagers. So, but that's going to be interesting of kids rebelling, greasers, those kind of people in the 50s. But right in the middle of the decade, this lovely little movie comes out. So the budget's $4 million, which is, that's a ton of money back then. But it makes $187 million. Not a mathematician, but I think that's a good return. And people have problems with this movie today. Rightly so. I won't get into it, but yeah, people have said that this movie's it's canceled because there's a lot of stereotypes and racial insensitivities, and yeah, I mean there are, but I mean that was 1955. That's, again, as artists, as thinkers, we're not here to judge. We're just here to look at certain things. The same with Gigi, when we talked about the the age difference and what was going on. We're just here to. I'm here to just show you works of art, not our place to moralize. Just to observe things. But I was reading that there's a lot of disclaimers. Disney Plus doesn't really have all of the Disney things because some of it is offensive and some of the disclaimers are there. I don't know, we could have a whole discussion about that, what you guys think. Because when you start taking away it and you start canceling it, then you have no reference and you repeat the same mistake again later without us knowing. So we definitely need. I think a disclaimer is fair, though. Just, heads up, this was 1955. Things were different back then, but you can still enjoy the movie. So, so I didn't know I was picking such a scandalous movie. So Peggy Lee, I mean, a great singer, but also a composer, great songwriter, wrote 6 songs for this movie. And of course, the big one we know that we're going to talk about is Bella Notte, which is Beautiful Night in Italian, right? And this is such a graceful scene. It's not at all how dogs would eat. I mean, you have to suspend belief throughout the whole thing because this is animation. It's for kids. It's not real. But they make it. Disney always makes the characters real enough for us to relate to. That's really hard to do because they're not people, as you know. So I don't know how he does it, but he makes them human. And they go to Tony's restaurant. So this shot is at Tony's isn't a real restaurant, so don't go there and order spaghetti because this is a cartoon, I think. So they go and they order spaghetti. Again, they're stereotypical characters for all these things, but I mean, it's cute. It's the 1950s. It's fine. And yeah, I mean, I think they're both nervous because they're on a date. And it's a really beautiful scene. I'm going to let it go just a little bit because I want you to see how gorgeous the park is, and the camera pan is really, really nice. It's cool that you can, we talk about these camera filming techniques, but obviously they block and they have all these things for animation. Of course, you don't tilt the camera, but it's cool to see it, in a different medium. So let's take a look at the lovely scene.
This is the night, it's a beautiful night, and we call it Bella Notte. Look at the skies, they have stars in their eyes, on this lovely Bella Notte. Side by side, with your loved one, you'll find an enchantment here. The night will weave its magic spell when the one you love is near. For this is the night when the heavens are right on this lovely Bella Notte. This is the night, it's a beautiful night, and we call it Bella Notte. Look at the skies, they have stars in their eyes, on this lovely Bella Notte. Side by side with your loved one, you'll find enchantment here. The night will weave its magic spell when the one you love is near. For this is the night, and
very graceful, very romantic, very. I love the mood at the end. I just love the city. It's really a romantic movie, even though it's just lovely. And so I'm going to shorten it. So why don't we take a look at the scene just with some room sound, city sound. So, what do you think? No music. It needs music. I realize the scores you're going to send in, it's not going to, sync up with the lips of the guy singing it. So that's fine. Just kind of thought it'd be fun to look at this. Really, the scene when they're sharing that noodles is really, really cute, and come up with some music that you think would fit. It can be Italian. It doesn't have to be. It can't be like a rock song with lyrics because that would be weird, right? It could make it something romantic. It could be like an Italian romantic scene. Just thought it would be fun to this week to kind of get, put some of your guys' music into, like the most famous scene in the world almost, one of them. So make it graceful, make it romantic, make it, yeah. I'm excited. I mean, you guys know what to do. And if this is your first time, send something in. YouTube, Spotify. I'd love to have you participate. So, get it to me by tomorrow and think of what, always come back to this that's why I show it without the music. So you can refer back to it and see what's a good idea here. Use your best judgment, and make it romantic. Okay. I've said it all. Hope you have a great Valentine's Day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.